Welcome to today's episode of Two Pigs in a Pod, a podcast for the people of glazing by the people of glazing. I'm George Lewis, editor at the People in Glazing Society, or more commonly known as PiGs, and I'll be your host. Our guests today are Laura Molineux and Kelly Easthope. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Yeah.
So, for those that don't know who you are, Laura, we'll come to you first. Can you explain who you are and what you do within our industry?
Yeah, of course. So, I am co-director with Kelly of our company Hayley Windows Design and Installation Limited. And we are a supply and installation company for all glazing related products, extensions, conservatories, kind of anything to do with the glazing sector.
Okay. Can you explain about sort of the areas that you cover? Kelly,
yeah,
come to you for that one.
Absolutely. We do residential and commercial.
Yeah.
We can install as little as one window to, we're looking at hospitals at the moment, aren't we? We do, like Laura touched upon, windows, doors and conservatories, orangeries in aluminium, timber, PVC. My side of things of the business, I do the accounts, the number crunching.
I stay away from the numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have no access to the credit card.
So, yeah,
just to say that out loud.
Yeah, and also the actual running of the fitters, the installations, aftercare.
Yeah, and I look after more sales and marketing,
Yeah.
and product development, kind of deciding.
Yeah, new ideas.
Yeah, what
Okay.
new products we're going to
And
introduce.
Kelly, how did you get into this sector?
Oh.
It's the age-old question that everyone wants to know.
So,
How?
very random. I was having some windows fitted in my house and I went to Hayley Windows and met Mike. Mike's the founder of Hayley Windows, and we got on really well. And I started working there probably 2 hours a week. Nothing major, and 16 years later I'm sat here doing a podcast with yourself. So yeah, did not go in the industry at all. It just fell.
And Laura, same question to you. How did you? Yours is a bit of a different story, I guess.
So of course it was my dad who founded the business. So initially when I was younger, there was never a natural progression to say that I was 100% going to go into it. I kind of went off and did my own thing. I had a career in London in a estate agency for a few years and was pretty successful. Kind of realised my passion for property, it kind of solidified that, and I realised that I kind of didn't want to work for other people as such, making them more money and doing well for them. So it kind of felt natural to come back to the Midlands and have a go at kind of taking on the business and try and bring in some new ideas of what I learned really from London.
Okay. And do you think that's actually helped you sort of, now you're looking after the business or a major part of the business, that you've actually had a different life outside of the industry and brought that sort of knowledge back into
Yeah,
glazing?
massively. I think it just is good to have different industry knowledge, and obviously it was relatable because it was property and similar in terms of sales and dealing with kind of the customer base that we do. But I think it was really important just to have a different perspective and kind of see how other businesses run in different areas, to kind of try and bring fresh ideas really. Because I think
And she did.
Yeah.
Like a whirlwind when she
Yeah.
came in.
I did have to slow down a few times, didn't I? Making you and Dad panic a little bit with ideas, but you know, it
was
came,
all good. Yeah.
all came right in the end.
Yeah.
A few nudges here and there, and then I got what I wanted. Yeah,
And-
Dad retired. Yeah, Dad retired.
And do you think it was good that you actually learnt in London sort of to bring it back home?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I learned from being in London was the pace of how quickly things go and how much I learned in such a small space of time, and also the professional side, working more of like a corporate kind of company and seeing how managers work and managing different amounts of staff and sales and how the offices work and just different setups, isn't it, of seeing different opportunities of how to present ourselves and potentially put ourselves ahead of competition locally. But just different ideas and perspectives, isn't it?
Okay. And Kelly, you said that you just was a customer of Hayley Windows at first. Did you know anything else about the glazing industry?
I didn't know anything about the glazing industry, no. I bought organisational skills, number crunching and people skills maybe. No, I didn't know anything.
Definitely people skills. You deal with all...
I deal with all the customers, the aftercares. But Mike, his background is actually teaching.
Okay.
So it was geography actually, wasn't it?
I know, yeah,
originally?
super random.
But he was so passionate about the industry, so learning from him was just amazing. It was great. And I say he is now on the golf course, happily retired, living
enjoying
life.
that,
Yes, he is. So I obviously know a lot more now.
Yeah.
But at the time, no.
And Laura, obviously, you say you took over from your dad.
Yeah.
But how did that feel at first to take over a business, having had your own career first? And then, what have you learned since taking over?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like a massive privilege initially to kind of have a ready-made business back at home to come back to. So I felt really lucky to have that opportunity. And also the flexibility that Kelly and Dad gave me in terms of bringing fresh ideas and being so open to try and move the business forward and kind of grow the business with new systems, technologies. We introduced a lot of new processes as well as product ranges. So it felt, really lucky to have that opportunity to come back to.
Yeah, we started emailing instead of faxing. That's how long ago that was.
Did get rid of faxing quite quickly in the situation that I didn't actually really know what a fax was. when I came back to the business, I was like, what's this little bit that we do?
Would you say that's the main thing that Laura's brought into the business is changing from fax?
I just remember having a sheer panic thinking, no fax machine, but I love paperwork. What do you mean emails? It means a computer. No.
What was mad was a lot of the suppliers still accepted
did the fax.
them.
Yeah,
I was
they
like,
were.
what? I was like, is this a whole world that I didn't know about?
Yeah.
People are still faxing.
Yeah.
And Kelly, what else would you say that Laura has brought to coming
energy,
from having been on the inside?
So many. Right, okay. Just energy, new ideas. We bounce them off each other. Well, I'm more of a, well, you tell me what you've got and I'll see if we can do it. Financially, obviously. No, she's amazing. Absolutely fantastic. Always pushing us. Always, for instance, this is so out my comfort zone.
You're doing fine.
I'm just going to try and stay quiet because I'll bumble on. But she's, brilliant. And social media, that kind of thing, marketing. Yeah. I mean, I'm talking about fax machines here and she's talking about podcasts and social media. So.
And Laura, do you think that's important, that the whole social media sort of to actually promote the work that you're actually doing, to show it off?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I felt that Kelly and Dad kind of didn't show off enough when I came back. Kind of the projects and the customer base and the homes that you were working on were amazing, and Dad was really well known in our local area and we are the go-to company really for kind of homeowners. And the fact that he didn't display them online, he was very good in the early days. He was always on it with marketing in terms of newspapers. I was
just about to say, it was newspapers, wasn't it?
And used to be really on it and really kind of ahead of the game when he first started out. But then, as I guess he kind of started to slow down with the business, that kind of stuff trailed off a bit and you were in the odd newspaper still or magazine. And I think one of the biggest things was being able to showcase how good we were and our customer base and what we did and put it out there kind of for this industry now, which is massively on social media and has changed.
Yeah, and do you think it's important to, obviously, that I'm sure you get more good reviews than bad, but actually that everything is online and you can actually see what your customers are saying, good and bad, and actually be able to sort of rectify that?
I think that's great. Yeah. Great for our staff as well. Yeah. It brings so much morale, like good morale. Springing their step in the morning, they come in. Yeah. They're always forever checking on Google reviews. We do well. We do really well on our Google reviews, and we've got a little bonus scheme going for them. So they really get into it and enjoy it, and our customers do give great feedback.
Yeah, and we do have the odd negative one, like every company does, and I think that's really important. Kelly and I have always worn our heart on our sleeve, and we're always open. You know, as you've just listened, we both were new to the industry when we started. We've obviously gained a lot of knowledge and traction and having the backup of Dad there, but we are open. If we don't know something or we've potentially not done something to the best of our ability, we hold our hands up and we get it right. And we've actually had people, had one on Facebook, didn't we had quite a negative review, and she actually then went back and altered the review and said, you know what, fair play.
She added to it. She left the negative one and then underneath then did actually
she called up for a service call I think it was about 6 months later, and we treated her like a normal customer, even though we had a few obstacles initially. We kind of didn't hold that against the file or whatever, and just carried on as normal. And I think she was genuinely really shocked that we came back, and I think it was changing a handle or something that had scratched, and she was just genuinely really shocked, wasn't she? And she actually went back and altered the review, and I think that is really important to show both sides of, we're all human. Mistakes can happen. It's about how you rectify them and move forward and be professional with it.
Do you think that's what's probably changed within our industry? Obviously you haven't been in it for as long as you, but do you think that actual customer service has changed in terms of, you know, you're happy to, obviously not happy to, but happy to take on board a potentially negative review and actually try and rectify it to get that sort of end goal?
To be honest, that's always been Mike's ethos from day one, the customer service, the aftercare. It's always been a massive thing for us. So when you say change, I would like to say we haven't changed. We've always been consistent. Yeah. I'd say customers have got a little bit more picky.
I think the standards are higher, which is
standards
good.
Are a lot
yeah,
higher.
And I think that's good because it's pushing businesses to be more professional. And our industry hasn't always had the best kind of name for itself. So now that the customer base is kind of striving for more excellence, we're striving for excellence, and the standards are there, and it filters through to the fitting teams and to staff in the office and how we approach everything with the business really now, which is customer focused and to make sure that everything's perfect. Regulations, fencer, things like that, that's all helping as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously we're in quite a male dominated industry. We sit here with two owners who are female, and how does it feel to be a woman in this industry in general, and how does it feel to be a business owner within a sector that is very male dominated?
You can answer that one.
I think it has its challenges. I think first of all we feel quite privileged again and lucky because we've managed to use it to our advantage with having the luxury of social media and things like that, and that's always gone down really well.
It's been hard.
Yeah, we've managed to kind of market ourselves as we're in the industry as two females taking over the business, and that's gone really well. But on the front line, we have had challenges. Yeah. There is an underlying tone that I feel like we kind of have to prove ourselves quite a lot.
So always on the back foot.
Yeah.
And that can be with the direct customer homeowner sometimes, and it's not always with intention, but I think sometimes a male customer rings up and when we explain, I'll pop out to come and measure up for you, and they kind of go, oh yourself, sorry, are you coming out? And so it's kind of that back foot initially, and then once you go out, you present your information, they realise that we're kind of up to speed with what's going on in the industry. They do kind of soften and are more accepting to it.
I think it's the same when people are talking about white gold and they have that impression of you anyway. So we're always going to be on the back foot, and then to be female as well. So
holding the tape
we
measures
squash
female.
it quite quickly, and actually on the other foot we actually get quite a lot of people interested. Females, obviously homeowners, that want to come to us because we are female as well, but feel a bit more comfortable of us being in their home.
And I think we bring, as well as the difficulties with that, we bring a lot of new skills. Women in all industries are bringing new skills in terms of organisation and personality, and I think we kind of wear our hearts on our sleeves a bit more, and potentially sometimes a bit more open than men. So definitely. I think that has worked from supply chain and with homeowners to kind of have that communication and be quite free willing to say what you feel and say what you think, and it actually then moves you forward.
Do you feel the tide is turning? If it is very slowly, the tide is turning, and people are sort of more appreciative of having more women in the industry as a whole, but actually to be owners like yourself, do you feel it is turning?
Definitely, I think.
From
a homeowner point of view, our customer base, we're dealing with a lot more women. They're the decision makers. A lot of the men,
project managing, organising, it's great.
They come into the showroom and they
know exactly what they want. They tell you exactly what it is.
And they come into the showroom and they kind of say, oh, well, speak to the boss, she's choosing the colour of the door. And I think as glazing has become more of part of kind of interior design and architecture, people are realising there's a lot more choice. And so the decisions are having to be made and women are more included in them, which I think is great.
Yeah. And do you feel like you're a role model, actually being a woman-owned business? Do you want to be a role model? And secondly, do you feel like you are a role model?
We spoke about this in the car on the way over, didn't we? And I don't know how to answer that. And then you brought up about our social media and how we're putting it out there and showing that there are so many options. Like I've come from not having any experience, and then Laura herself, just what we've done is great, but I'd stand there and tell someone I'm a role model. I don't know.
I don't feel. I just think we're just trying to do our best.
Sure. But do you think it's important to have people like yourself to actually sort of show you off that like we said, it is a very male dominated industry, and we have a successful business like yourself. Actually, it might entice not only new people into the industry, which we need obviously, but actually women as well to want to be a business owner and actually be in the glazing industry.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it gives, hopefully, seeing people seeing, Kelly and I, gives them confidence maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the biggest things, is confidence to understand and awareness that this industry exists, and there's a lot of opportunity in the industry, from kind of the manufacturing side and marketing, and then down to installers like ourselves. There's so many job opportunities and career paths within our industry that I think people don't realise. They kind of skim over the glazing industry. They kind of look at being an architect, for instance, or something, interior designer. And I think those are all really well marketed and look from school and college like a natural progression, and no one kind of says, oh well, I want to be in the glazing industry. And I think that's what's really frustrating and hard, because actually we're becoming a really well respected professional industry, and some of the stuff we do is really cool. It's really cool, like really some of the projects, some of the products, like
it's an industry that's not going anywhere either.
We're going to be around forever, because everyone
needs new windows. Exactly. There's always new buildings being built. So
is that how you sell it to, Laura, I'll go to you first, is that how you would sell it to a potential person coming into this sector, that there's so much going on, so many exciting products to view and install, in your case, like is that how you would sell it?
Absolutely, that it's an exciting, innovative, kind of industry to be in, that there's so much going on and so much opportunity that you should get involved and not be afraid. And actually, I think the problem is as well, once you're in the industry, you realise how sociable and friendly we are.
So friendly.
And I think until you're in it, no one ever leaves once they get.
You go to the NEC and you're like, oh hi, it is great.
And all of the supply
You
chains.
went to the awards on your own, but knew that you were going to know people there. So I went last year on my own, just because you were pregnant.
I was pregnant.
Did you give him birth?
Not yet.
Not yet. She was heavily pregnant. And this year I was on holiday. So Laura got to go on her own. But actually had to walk up.
Yeah.
Well, we'll move on to that, about the award that's sitting here.
Course,
but I mean, is that important, that networking side of things? Obviously, we're a networking event ourselves, and you said about the Installer Awards and fit shows and things like that. Is that networking important for you as a company and for the glazing sector in general?
Yeah. I think you get strong working relationships with your suppliers.
It's nice to put a face to them, isn't it? Because you spend a lot of time behind the computer kind of emailing and things like that. So when you actually go to a show and you put a face to the customer service person that's been looking after you from one of your suppliers, it instantly have that connection. And then you find, like, the week after when you're emailing, you have that bit more of kind of banter and more conversation. So that definitely helps. And it makes it fun, which is a massive part of our industry. I feel like everyone is really sociable, and that's not all industries have that, really. I mean, I felt like that with my estate agency. It was quite similar, because everyone's quite outgoing personalities, but everyone is super friendly and outgoing, and everyone loves an opportunity for to go for a bit of a network, don't they, in an event. It's great.
And obviously you're on the front line as an installation business. You're seeing trends and things, if they're going well or not so well. How does the industry look generally from your point of view?
So this is one where you were saying about the Critter, was it?
So really exciting in terms of products, really, and there's so many different products available, and I think, as we touched on, that our industry is not going anywhere. If anything, it's improving more and more with technology, in terms of having to achieve things like passive house and architectural designs. All of that kind of stuff is filtering down now to homeowners, because they're doing a lot more renovations and projects and restorations. So I think it's a really exciting time to be in the industry. Gone are the days of white gold where it's just like a basic white window. There's like amazing stuff happening, and technology's advancing massively for us to be able to kind of showcase more products and have the opportunity to install more products.
Okay. And moving a bit on to about sort of charity and your fundraising work. Obviously at PiGs we do a lot for charity and promote the charity work that this amazing industry is doing. Are you able to give an idea of what you do for the local community and why, really?
Well, we have Mary Stevens Hospice is the main one in our community, isn't it? It's huge. We had some staff to pull together this year. We all collected Christmas trees. which was an event in itself. So we used our vans, and Laura and I were paired together. And basically the homeowners left the Christmas tree out on the drive or on the grass, and then we went along and picked them up. We're talking from small to like huge. We're not big women. And so we go and pick them up and trying to get like 8 or 9 Christmas trees in the back of a van. And Laura thought this lady's plant was a Christmas tree.
Like a Christmas tree. It literally looked like a Christmas tree. So I was like there trying to is this the tree?
Yeah.
Like trying to spot.
This is a really nice Christmas
trying
tree.
to spot the tree was the hardest thing when you're driving around, because so many of the bushes look like bloody trees.
And then they also do summer fairs, so we put an advertisement in there as well, obviously. I personally am doing a skydive next month for the supporting young... I've written it down because I knew I'd forget because it's quite close to my heart. Prevention of suicide in young adults. And another, I see you get so close to my heart, I get a bit chewed up about it. So basically the generosity of our suppliers, they've helped. So I emailed and just said what I was doing, and would they support, and they've come back.
They did, didn't they? Which is lovely.
Which has been quite overwhelming for me, hence why I can't get my words out.
But again, that shows how close our industry is.
Yeah, it is.
They're always willing to support and personal things as well, and having that relationship with different suppliers and customer bases. It was lovely that they all kind of replied and donated.
We did the food bank as well, didn't we? Which was great, because we got all the staff involved again. You just opened your boot and it just got filled.
Yeah, filled my car with
it was brilliant.
Donations of food and essentials.
I think it's been so good on the social side of the networking that you do, marketing. That we've got quite a large audience, which is great. So when we do things like that, we've got a lot of help.
Yeah,
got a lot of
and
help.
if people listening or people watching wanted to help out with the skydive or anything, how would they? Can they just contact you and say they want to help out?
Absolutely, that would be great if they could just get in touch with Hayley Windows. Any of our staff know about all of what we do. All of the things that we're doing on our website as well. There's some information on there. The skydive one isn't on there yet.
It's on our Facebook page.
We can put it at the end as well.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you. Yeah.
And speaking about, like we said, the Installer Award that you recently picked up, like how did that feel? Obviously, Laura, you were there and actually had to go off on your own to collect it. So how did that feel?
I was genuinely really shocked. I was so nervous. I mean, it was funny because the table that I was sat on, they were all really lovely, and we all got on really quickly and were chatting away, and all of our table were actually up for an award in a different category, which was really nice. But we were sat right at the back, so we were all kind of taking the mix, saying, we're not going to bloody win, are we? We're right at the back, we're not going to be on the winning. And then 2, me included, and another company won the award, so we had to go all the way to the front. And I was a bit nervous because I genuinely was quite shocked, and I was a bit nervous to make sure I didn't fall over when going up to collect it. But it felt, again, it was just really like humbling and so exciting to see, because you stay in your little bubble, don't you, sometimes, especially as like a local...
Little Hayley Windows and little Dudley, and all of a sudden we're up with all these nations.
It's like a little local company. You kind of feel like you forget that there's a whole industry out there and lots of other companies, so to have that kind of national recognition was really amazing, and it was a really, really proud moment. And
she texted me when I was on holiday. I'm no words of a lie. She showed me a picture.
You threw your phone,
I went to show my other half the picture, and I threw my phone in the pool. I literally threw. I was very excited. I then cried because I wasn't there.
The one.
And it was so typical that she wasn't there, so I was kind of up there having my photo. But it was so exciting. I genuinely was so proud of our little business, and everyone was so excited. I rang Tanya and Danny on the way home in the car, and they're all just generally buzzing, and it's just so nice, to have that recognition of all the hard work that we put in, and to be amongst other amazing companies and just see how great everyone's doing. And again, our industry support each other, and we champion each other, and everyone is genuinely really happy for each other for success, which I love about our industry. I think that's a massive thing for us.
And Kelly, I'll come to you with the last question of this part of what's next. You're an award-winning company now, so
that's promoted everywhere.
Oh yeah,
everywhere we go. What's next? Just keep doing what we're doing. We're happy. It's working. Our staff are growing. Our fleet's growing. Our fitters are growing. Our products are growing.
Constantly bringing on new product ranges.
And our website, that's coming along great as well. Google reviews are growing, so
Just want to keep looking after all of our customers really in the Midlands and keep bringing new ideas and new products, don't we? And keep doing what we're doing. And we do want to grow. I think that is important. That we do want to kind of grow the business, but at a really sensible rate, so that we can keep those core values and the ethos that Dad kind of started off with, and yourself.
A bit of personalisation, and
recommendations, and just doing things in a really nice way that the core of the business doesn't change, even if we are lucky enough to kind of grow and become bigger. We still want to keep those core values.
Okay, nice. Well, thank you for those answers. It was really interesting to hear obviously how you've grown and now an award winning. So we'll move on to the next part of the podcast, which is get to know you. It's a quick fire question round. It's nothing too heavy, don't worry, it's not going to be, but I'll just fire some questions away to you, and just give me the first thing that comes to your head. So
that's a bit dangerous.
No, they're easy questions, don't worry, you're not going to so can I come to you first? Do you prefer talking over email or by phone?
By phone.
Okay. What was the first gig you ever attended?
Oh my God, the first gig. Green Day, I do remember. I was at school.
No way.
Yeah, and it was at the NEC. And I thought I was
Kelly,
dead cool.
Mine was not cool. Mine was Kylie Minogue, but Jason Donovan turned up to do Especially For You. That was like a bonus that no one knew about.
Kelly, where's your favourite place to visit anywhere in the world?
Cornwall. My friend's got a lovely house in Falmouth. It's beautiful, right next to the beach,
Yeah, and Laura?
The mountains, every time.
Okay.
Love skiing. Love going away skiing when we can.
Laura, come to you. What time of day do you feel most in the zone? Are you a bit of a morning person, a bit of a lark, or an evening person?
100% morning. I'm like, have my coffee, don't I? Come to work buzzing.
Same, or?
Yeah. Well, I don't drink caffeine, but I'm the same. Morning, definitely. But morning, you kind of get loads done, don't we? Yeah.
Okay, and lastly, what it would be your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, my life. Pink, Raise Your Glass.
Okay. Laura?
Don't Stop Me Now by Queen.
Nice No. Perfect. Well, thank you very much for that. We'd like to get to know our guests a bit better, outside of the sort of the industry and things like that. So thank you. But now it's time to let all our guests have a shout out to anyone they want. It can be family, it can be friends, it can be colleagues. Whoever you want, doesn't matter. So, Kelly, I'll come to you first if you want to fire down to that camera of who you want to shout out.
We did have a chat in the car and we had a few, so you can do those. But we actually said, obviously, Mike, Laura's dad, massive, huge shout, which he won't hear because he doesn't know anything about podcasts.
I don't think he knows what a podcast is. So,
send him the audio.
Yeah. But we've got our suppliers.
We thought it was important to shout out to suppliers and say, thanks for all of your support and the great relationships that we've built with you. Carl from Solidor being one. Yeah. Big up Carl, he's always really helpful. Darren.
Nick, Darren
from Origin. Yeah.
Nick, Spectral. Catherine from CWG and Annabelle.
Yeah.
And Jack from the UPVC store.
Yes, always looks after us for little service bits.
Perfect. Well, I think that's a nice way to end. So I appreciate you obviously both coming onto the show today, and it was really interesting to hear what you have been doing and what the future looks like for Hayley Windows.
Thank you.
So that's it for today, and I hope you can join us for another episode soon. You can find this episode and all of our previous ones on our YouTube channel, wherever you get your podcasts from, and on our website www.peopleinglazing.co.uk. And whilst you're there, you can also find out when the next PiGs networking event is, read the latest people news from our sector, plus lots more. And don't forget to sign up to our bi-weekly newsletter, aptly named Style News, straight to your inbox. Goodbye and see you again soon.